if you are entering this plea without the assistance of a lawyer, that you are aware of that, and you are aware that this disposition will take place on today unless the case is continued. First on the calendar is Cameron Anderson. Cameron Anderson.
I'm here, Your Honor.
What is your plea to the charge, sir?
Not guilty.
All right, is Catherine Ford available? Catherine Ford. Mr. Anderson, please turn your video on. Terrence Bacchus.
I'm sorry, I'm here, Your Honor, Catherine Ford.
All right, Ms. Ford, you're present. All right, Terrence Bacchus. Terrence Bacchus. That's FTA.
Your Honor, can Sergeant Sparks be dismissed?
Yes. David Black. David Black. That is FTA. LaShawn Brown. LaShawn Brown. Stardesia Sanders. Stardesia Sanders. All right, Ms. Brown is FTA. Ms. Sanders is not present. Tahili Brown.
Tahili Brown's present.
Thank you. Shaquandra Burgess. Shaquandra Burgess. FTA. Witnesses Sharinkia Stevens.
I'm here.
Thank you. And Tatiana Stevens.
I'm here.
Thank you. Please turn your video on.
It's on.
Thank you. Trina Cullors.
I'm here.
Thank you. Mamie Grable. Mamie Grable.
I'm here.
Jacine Daughtery. Or is it Jacine Daughtery? Absent. Ms. Grable is present. Jeffrey Ashigbe.
Present, Your Honor.
Godfrey Ashigbe.
Present, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is your plea, sir?
I have 2 citations for the.
You have a speeding citation. What is your plea to the speeding citation?
No, sir.
All right. And what is your plea? It looks like not having your driver's license on your person.
Not guilty, sir, because I have it.
Did you have it on your person at the time that the officer stopped you?
Yes, sir.
Did you present it to the officer?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I even sent it. I've sent the copy to the email, sir.
No, I
So you can
understand
check
that
it.
you sent it.
Yeah.
My question is, did you present it at the time?
Yes, sir.
All
I
right.
presented it. Yes, sir.
Mamie Grable, what is your plea to the charge?
My plea is not guilty.
Thank you. And Trina Cullor, what is your plea to the charge?
Not guilty.
Thank you. And Tahili Brown, what is your plea to the charge?
I would like to actually plead not guilty.
All right. And Cameron Anderson, what is your plea to the charge?
Not guilty, sir.
Thank you. Quinice Jennings.
I'm here.
Quinice Jennings, what is your plea to the charge?
Not guilty.
Thank you. And Derek Tate. Derek Tate. Absent. Renee Landers. Renee Landers. FTA. Carissa Mack.
Here,
What is your plea? Please turn your video on.
I tried. It's saying the host is disabling it.
Yes, I asked you to put on a jacket or another shirt to have on a tank top.
Okay,
What is your plea, Ms. Mack?
not guilty.
Thank you. And is Solomon Alawali? Solomon Alawali? Blanche Carter? Blanche Carter? Winston Carter? Winston Carter. Okay. Essence Moss. Essence Moss. FTA. Robin Irsery.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Thank you. It looks like Essence Moss is FTA. Sergeyovich Oleg.
I'm here, Your Honor.
What
Not
is your
guilty.
plea, sir?
Not guilty.
Thank you. Jessica Reed. Jessica Reed. FTA. Stevens. Shernika Stevens. Or is it Sharinkia Stevens? I
I'm
apologize.
here.
All right. And what is your plea, Ms. Stevens?
I thought you just said I was a witness.
You were a witness in one case, and in another case you were
Oh,
charged with
not
the
guilty.
citation. Thank you. And is that the same for Tatiana Stevens?
Correct.
Thank you. Jason Strange.
I'm here, Your Honor. Not
Thank
guilty.
you. Harvey Parrish.
Mr. Parrish is in the courtroom with me, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. That concludes the call of the calendar. I understand there's someone here on the written feed, and we will handle that matter at the end of the trial. Prosecutor, it looks like we have a few trials. Sparks has been accused. I guess we have Edwards' cases next, and then we can just kind of go down the calendar accordingly.
Yes, Judge. Could I get, I sent Ms. Green a note. Could I get Ms. Yates or somebody to forward me the email with the cases on them? For some reason, I just lost them in my system. So I don't need the calendar. I have the calendar. I just need the email attachment with the cases.
We're working on it.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I be excused?
You can, thank you.
You're welcome. See you this afternoon.
All right.
Judge, I believe there was a couple of cases where there were no witnesses present and or there was a witness present and no defendant.
That is correct. So
I believe on Mr. Cameron Anderson, if I heard correctly, Ms. Ford is present.
and Mr. Anderson is present.
And Mr. Anderson is present, okay. And then we had Ms. Brown, no witness, and that was an FTA also.
No, Ms. Brown is present.
Is she? Okay, so
Yes, she entered a not guilty plea.
Stardeja Anderson is not on the Zoom. Can we announce for that person one more time? Is Stardeja Anderson on the Zoom?
Stardeja Sanders.
Sanders, I'm sorry.
Yeah, She's absent. Stardesia Sanders. Okay, LaShawn Brown is FTA.
I thought so. That's what I wrote down on my calendar.
Yeah, but
Both of them were-
Tahili Brown is present.
Okay. All right. We don't have a witness on that case. All right. So
That's correct. So
F-
LaShawn Brown is FTA and Ms. Sanders is absent.
all right. And then that's a co-defendant case. There is also on page 3, maybe Mamie Grable was present, and we had no witness on that one.
And
Jason,
the police officer's not here. That is correct.
Jason Daughtery didn't log back on. So the city's going to move to dismiss for warrant of prosecution on that one, Judge.
All right, Ms. Grable,
Yes, Your Honor.
this case is being dismissed for warrant of prosecution. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat? Ms. Grable?
Ma'am,
Yes.
you are,
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
I can. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes, I did.
Do we have her information, Ms. Yates?
one moment. I don't see her information. Ms. Grable, if you could provide it to me, please.
Mamie.grable.
Please, can you please type your name and email address in the chat, or can you just simply say it to Ms. Yates?
I can say it because I don't know if I'm doing this wrong. It's mamie.grable@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Okay. You will receive your dismissal for warrant of prosecution by close of business tomorrow, and you can disengage, Ms. Grable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Have a pleasant day.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then I believe, Judge, we were on page 4. That is Kenise Jennings. There was a witness on that one, Derek Tate. We didn't hear an announcement from. It's Derek.
Oh.
That is correct. Derek Tate.
Who is there?
All right, so Judge, we're going to dismiss for warrant of prosecution on that one.
All right, Mr. Quinice Jennings.
Yes,
Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
I typed my email address.
Have you typed your full name and your email address in the chat?
No.
Will you please type your name and full email address in the chat?
Okay.
No, where's your jacket?
You all please mute your devices so that we cannot hear what's taking place in the background.
Judge Freeman? Judge Freeman, I have Ms. Jennings' information.
All right, Ms. Jennings, you will receive your dismissal without prejudice by close of business tomorrow. You can disengage.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Prosecutor.
So on the same page, Judge, we have Carissa Mack. And there were 3 witnesses on that one. That was Solomon Oluwole, Blanche Carter, and Winston Carter. I don't believe there was an announcement previously. There is no announcement now. The city is going to move to dismiss that matter for warrant of prosecution.
Okay.
Excuse me, Judge, on that case.
Yes.
I remember back in July we had trial on that particular case.
We had a trial?
The witnesses were here for that.
Only 2 of the witnesses were here, and that was Ms. Carter and Mr. Carter. We needed Mr. Olawale, and I did send out a letter to him, but I did not receive any responses back from him.
Okay. So same announcement on that one, Judge.
Okay. Do we have Ms. Mack's email information?
Yes, we have it. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Mack, you can disengage on that one. You will receive your dismissal without prejudice by close of business tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Your Honor, quick question. We have Mr. Terrence, how do you pronounce this? Backus. He just came in. I explained to him that we've already released the officer and that you listed him as failure to appear.
That is correct. He'll just need to wait.
Okay, all right.
It's good to leave.
Unless we can get Sparks back. All right, you want to go ahead, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, Judge, we can start with our first case. That's going to be Cameron Anderson.
Did you want to finish up your calendar?
I believe everybody else was ready to go.
Essence Moss is FTA.
Yes, and can Officer Ramos be excused?
And the witness needs to be excused. Robin Earsery.
Earsery, yes.
Ms. Earsery,
Yes.
once Essence Moss is located, there will be a reset court date on an FTA and you'll be notified. But until then, you are excused.
Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you. Jessica Reed, we have an FTA.
And I have an announcement ready on the Stevens case.
Okay.
And I also have on the Strange case, the witness is present. That person is in the courtroom. We don't need the officer for that one. So I believe that takes care of all of the matters, the preliminary matters.
Okay.
And so Cameron Anderson will be the first one.
Hey, Your Honor, can you hear me?
We can. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, my name is Adam Neal. I was told that I needed to be in court today, and Miss Yolanda Green had sent me an email with this link on it, and
Mr. Neal.
it seems like my name has not been called.
Mr. Neal, you're on the 1 p.m. docket.
You're on the 1 o'clock p.m., not the 8 o'clock.
Okay, fantastic. So
We'll see you back here at 1 o'clock.
Fantastic.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Madam Clerk, can anybody give me a update on Officer Malone?
I haven't received any court conflicts or anything.
That's okay. We have the witness. We can proceed. I just want to make sure I didn't miss calling them forward. So Judge, I'm ready to proceed.
All right. Can I please have Cameron Anderson and Catherine Ford to please turn your videos on and to raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
I do.
All right, the prosecutor will proceed with the trial. Go ahead, Mr. Prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor. So Anderson's before the court because on May 10th of 2022, there was a citation issued for following too close. This was an accident case where Officer Malone was dispatched to that location. Officer Malone did not witness the accident, so it's not necessary that we have that person present to give any testimony. The witness who was involved in the accident with Cameron Anderson is Catherine Ford, and she is present on this Zoom. So the city would just call its first witness. Ms. Ford, on the date in question, were you involved in a motor vehicle accident with Cameron Anderson?
Yes, sir.
And was that accident, as far as you know, within the city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, sir.
Can you briefly state to the court how the accident occurred?
Yes. I was sitting at a traffic light. I had two cars in front of me, and Mr. Cameron was behind me. Once the light turned green, I took my foot off the brake to get ready to hit the gas, and he hit me from the back and pushed me up in the lane. And I started driving to pull over to the left to see if he would pull over with me, and he took off, and I had to chase him down to get his tag number. And I had to go back to the scene to call the police.
Okay, so when Officer Malone arrived on the scene, the vehicle or Mr. Anderson was not present at that location?
Correct.
At some point, did Mr. Anderson come back to the location?
No, sir.
So as far as you know, the investigation after you provided the license plate number to the officer, that's when the citation was issued. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
No further questions for this witness, Judge.
All right, Mr. Anderson, do you have any questions you'd like to ask Ms. Ford?
Yeah, that didn't happen. Nothing like that.
Okay, well,
actually,
Mr. Anderson, this is where you ask questions. You will have an opportunity to make a statement, but right now you have the right to ask questions. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask her?
no, sir.
All right. Does the city have any other evidence?
No other evidence, Judge. City rests.
All right, the city has rested. Now, Mr. Anderson, you can tell me what happened.
Okay, I was taking my hoodie off in my car because I worked right the next light before the I work at the next light. So I was taking my hoodie off. I tapped her. Didn't push her nowhere. There's cameras out there too. Then she left. When the lights turned green, I stopped. Well, of course I was already stopped, but she kept going. Like she didn't feel anything or nothing like that. So I didn't do nothing and I work at that next lot. So it didn't happen like that. It was just a tap and she kept going. Because I was stopped. I was right behind her. I didn't go around her. Nothing.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. Does the prosecutor have any questions?
I do. So, Mr. Anderson, you're not denying that your vehicle made contact with the vehicle driven by Ms. Ford. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
All right. No further questions, Judge.
All right. Mr. Anderson, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Based on the evidence, the charge of following too closely is simply that the front of your vehicle hit the rear end of someone else's vehicle, which that does not seem to be in dispute. There seems to be some testimony about whether you left the scene, but there was no citation issued for that. So the court is not even going to consider that. I'm only going to deal with the following too closely, which you have admitted that you did rear end her car, although you say it was not a major damage. If it was, I will let you all's insurance company take care of that. But on the singular charge of following too closely, the court does find you guilty of the violation, Mr. Anderson. That fine amount is $200. Are you able to satisfy that in 2 weeks, or do you need a longer period of time?
I can satisfy that in 2 weeks, sir.
All right. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes, sir.
Do we have Mr. Anderson's email address?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Ford, do you have any questions regarding the disposition of the case?
Yes, I'm wondering why he wasn't charged with a hit and run, because as I said, he did take off. I had to chase him down to get his tag number and return back to the scene to give it to the officer. So
well, I will tell you, of course, I don't know the answer to that. But if you want to follow up with Officer Malone and inquire why, you certainly can.
I sure will.
Okay. But
Yes.
Thank you for your testimony today. Mr. Anderson, you will receive your plea form to which you will enter a not guilty plea. You have been found guilty and you will be ordered to pay the sum of $200 within the next 2 weeks. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Anderson, you can disengage, and Ms. Ford, you can disengage. And thank you to both of you all. All right, Mr. Prosecutor, you want to call your next matter?
Yes, Judge, the next matter that I'm showing is to Healy Brown. It's Officer Edwards.
Hello, I'm here, present.
And Judge, just to make sure that I'm not off on this one, this looks like it was an accident case. And there's Patricia Ponder. Patricia Ponder was the witness on this.
Was Ms. Ponder notified to be here today?
Yes.
All right, so what does the prosecution want to do?
Well, hearing no announcement from Ms. Ponder, the city is going to move to dismiss for want of prosecution.
All right, Ms. Brown, Ms. Tahili Brown, this case will be dismissed for want of prosecution. Have you provided your name and email address in the chat?
I have.
Do we have her information, Ms. Yates?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Brown, you will receive your plea form to which you will enter a not guilty plea, and then you will receive your dismissal without prejudice. Do you understand that?
No, I don't. Can you clarify, please? What
Okay,
that,
first, you will receive your plea form, which
okay,
you will enter a not guilty plea, which is what
Okay.
plea you entered. After
Correct.
you have sent that back, you will receive an order that says that your case has been dismissed without prejudice. Do you understand that?
now why is it being dismissed? May I ask?
Because there is no witness to prosecute the case against you.
Well, I have something. The letter that you sent me, I just want to just put this on record that maybe the reason why she hasn't come is because the letter that you sent me is saying to Patricia Ponder, but then in the letter it's saying my name. So I'm not sure if that's the reason, but okay. If it's dismissed, it's dismissed.
Did the prosecutor hear that?
I did, Judge. And so Ms. Brown is not incorrect. The way that the police report reads, and I'm going to assume that both people were issued citations. Ms. Ponder is the first vehicle or the first driver on that report. Normally, when there is a situation where the person is a witness, that person is the second vehicle on there. So, Ms. Brown, I'm assuming that you did receive a citation, correct?
Yes, from a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. This has been ongoing, and
Ms.
I
Brown,
guess the last time we were in court.
Ms. Brown, you broke up for a second.
Sorry.
Were you able to answer my question? Did you receive a citation?
I received this, yes, I received this. I'm the first car. I don't know if you got that backwards, but I'm the first car. She hit me.
All right. So based on her not being present, Judge, the case is being dismissed against Ms. Brown.
And if it turns out to be that Ms. Ponder got defective notice, the case can be reinstated.
Yes, sir.
All right. But as of right now, Ms. Brown, this case is being dismissed for want of prosecution. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Thank you. You can engage from the call.
Thank you. You have a great day now.
All right. Take care.
Thank you too.
So, Judge, the next matter on my calendar is going to be, well, we had an FTA on Ms. Burgess, which is at the bottom of page 2. That's a co-defendant case with the Sharanikia Stevens and Tatiana Stevens.
Ms. Burgess is in jail.
Okay, I'm not asking you to speak just yet, okay? And in reference to the charge, Judge, all of them were charged with disorderly conduct. I just read the report on Ms. Burgess. And being that I'm going to go on the assumption that the two Stevens are sisters, you guys are family members, correct?
That's my
Yes,
mother.
sir.
Oh, okay, mother and daughter. So they were all charged with the same thing, Judge. The FTA on Ms. Burgess makes it problematic for us to go forward because the mother and daughter were involved in an altercation with Ms. Burgess. All three of them, however, were charged. And so I don't have a witness against the Stevens case. So the city's going to move against, to dismiss against the Stevens for want of prosecution from Ms. Burgess.
All right. So to the mother and daughter in the Stevens case, your cases are being dismissed for want of prosecution by the prosecutor. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Have you all typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Yates, do you have their information?
Yes, I do.
All right, you all will receive first your plea form where you will enter a not guilty plea, and then later you will receive your dismissal without prejudice. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all, and you both can disengage from the call.
Thank you. You all have a good day.
All right.
You too.
Go ahead, Mr. Prosecutor.
So Judge, I am now on page 3, and this is Trina Culler, Culler.
Yes.
This is Officer Edwards' case. And I'm ready to proceed.
All right. Everyone that is going to testify, if you will please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
I do.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Cullers before the court because on April 22nd of 2022, she received a citation for improper right or left turn. Officer Edwards issued that citation. Officer Edwards, on the date in question, did you have an opportunity to come in contact with Ms. Culler?
I did.
And was that contact within the city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, it was.
Are you a post-certified peace officer with arrest powers?
I am.
Can you briefly state the nature of that contact?
I made contact with Ms. Collier's vehicle due to her making an improper left turn. Ms. Collier turned left from Old Dixie onto Forest Parkway and went directly into the outer lane.
Okay, you were monitoring traffic at the time, stationary, or were you traveling in traffic when you observed the infraction?
I was stationary at the BP gas station.
Okay, and so the citation is basically because there were several lanes when she was turning onto the roadway and she did not stay in the lane of travel for sufficient time before changing lanes. Is that correct?
Correct. She went directly into the outer lane. She was supposed to stay to the innermost lane.
All right. Nothing further for this witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Culler, do you have any questions you'd like to ask the officer?
Yes. I don't know exactly if it'd be a question or not, but I don't think I should have got pulled over because normally when I make that turn, it's not like my tire is not going to meet the other lane. So I don't think I should have got charged for that.
Okay, but you know, this is the phase where you get to ask questions. So do
Okay.
you have any questions?
No.
All right. Then does the city rest?
City rest, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Culler, you can now tell us why you believe you should not be charged with this violation.
Okay, so when I made my turn, okay, when I was at the light, once I made my turn to get over on the right lane, my tire, I think my left tire kind of like touched the right lane. So I don't think it was no car coming. It wasn't like I was driving crazy or anything like that. So I just think that it was no doubt that my tire was gonna meet the other lane. So I shouldn't have been charged for that.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I just think I got pulled over because they needed he might have needed commission or whatever, but because I wasn't bothering nobody. So it's like, it was kind of crazy, but anyway.
Okay. Does the prosecutor have any questions?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Culler, can you, I want to make sure that I understand. Are you stating to the court that you did not change lanes, that your tire touched the dividing line between the lanes and then you maintained the lane of travel that you were in when you made the turn?
Yes, yeah, my tire touched the other lane, of course.
Okay. And so, all right. So, Judge, I'd like to recall Officer Edwards.
Okay.
Officer Edwards?
Yes.
In reference to the testimony given by Ms. Culler, her statement is that she did not change lanes, that her tire went into or touched the dividing marks for the lanes. Is your recollection that she made an actual lane change maneuver and went into the opposite outside lane instead of staying on the inside lane where she should have been before signaling to go to the outside lane?
No, she went directly into the outer lane.
Okay.
When she made the left turn, she went directly into the outer lane. She never went into the inside lane at any point.
Thank you, sir. City rest, Judge.
All right. Ms. Culler, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, not at this time.
All right. Madam, Ms. Cullen, you've entered a not guilty plea to the charge. Court does find you guilty of the violation. The fine amount is $100. Are you able to satisfy that in 2 weeks, or do you need a longer period of time?
Yeah, I can satisfy.
Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes.
Ms. Yates, do we have Ms. Culler's information?
Yes, we have it.
All right, Ms. Culler, first you will receive your plea form to which you will enter a not guilty plea. You have been found guilty, and then you will receive a 2-week agreement to pay the sum of $100. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, thank you, and you can disengage from.
Thank you.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor. So the next case that I have is also Officer Edwards' case. This is going to be on Godfrey well, I'm going to mispronounce your last name, sir. Could you pronounce that for me?
Ishigbe.
You're on mute, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Your Honor, you pronounce it properly. Godfrey Ishegbe, you're correct.
Yes, it's Ishigbe. He's
Yes, sir.
entered a
Yes.
no-law plea to the speeding charge and a not guilty plea to the driver's license charge.
Okay. All right. So, Your Honor, I have Mr. Shigby's citation up here. This is Officer Edwards' case. Guess we can swear everybody in.
All right, can I have everyone that's going to testify to please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank you. You want to go ahead and present the case, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Shigby is before the court because on April 23rd of 2022, he received a citation for, the citation is actually for operating with a learner's permit and not that he did not have a license on his person. Officer Edwards issued that citation. Officer Edwards, on the date in question, did you have an opportunity to come in contact with Mr. Shigby?
Yes, I did.
And was that contact within the city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, it was.
Can you briefly state the nature of that contact?
I made contact with Mr. Shibby due to the fact of I clocked him using laser going 55 and a 40. During the interaction, I learned that he had a learner's permit.
Okay. And this citation was issued at approximately 8:28 p.m.
That's correct.
In reference to the learner's permit violation, I note that you have on the citation that he had a Class CP Georgia license and there was nobody in the vehicle with him at that time. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So the citation was issued, number one, for a speeding infraction, but upon discovering that he was driving the vehicle at that time without anybody else who had a valid driver's license in the vehicle with him, that's why you issued the other citation, correct?
That's correct.
Nothing further for this witness, Judge?
All right, Mr. Shigby, do you have any questions you'd like to ask the officer?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Officer, sir, as at the day you pulled me over, what driver's license did I present to you, sir? I presented a driver's license to you, Class C driver's license. Could you tell the court the driver's license I presented to you?
You presented a Class CP license.
That was not correct, sir.
I know,
presented
but
a
at this
Maryland.
stage, Mr. Shigby, you ask questions. You'll
Okay.
have an opportunity to tell us what happened. So make sure
Okay.
you just ask right now.
Okay, sir. Okay, the question is, what driver's license did I present to him that day, on the fateful day he pulled?
He said you presented a CP license.
Okay, sir. Should I respond to
Go
it, sir?
ahead with your next question if you have any.
No, that's just the question I have.
Okay, does the city have any other evidence?
Yes, let me, well, Officer Edwards, you ran the plate and the license that was presented to you, correct?
Yes, I did. The license that he presented to the court was after the date of the stop. It shows the 26th, not the 22nd or 23rd when the actual stop occurred.
All right, nothing for this witness, Judge.
Now, it looks like he had a Maryland license.
Thank you. Look at the date.
Yeah, it looks like
That
he
was-
had a Maryland license. He's saying.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what state the CP license was issued out of, Officer Edwards?
He also had a Georgia license as well. He
So-
he returned out of Georgia as well.
So, Judge, here's the thing. If you look at his history, the Georgia license, the Class C license he received was issued on April 26th of 2022. The
That's
citation,
correct. That's
the
correct.
citation was issued before that date.
That is correct. But now I'm looking at his Maryland license.
Good.
But what he presented to the officer was a Georgia
No,
conditional permit.
sir. No. I presented the Maryland license. He's aware of it.
Okay.
The video is there. He had a camera on. Let him play the video.
Okay. All right. Now, Mr. Ashigbi, you go ahead and tell us what happened on the license.
Yes, on that day, I presented, he said, I should, do I have a driver's license with me? I said, yes. I presented the Maryland driver's license. That's what I've been using. When you look at the date the Maryland license was issued, you can run it. Look at the date. It's not a new license. I've been using it for over 4 years. I'm almost 40 years. I shouldn't be driving with permits. I told him and I explained all these things. All these things were on video. I gave him the driver. He went to his car. I came back and said, I'm driving with a learner's permit. And I had already applied on the DDS for it. So it was after that day that I went to the DDS and they gave me the original Class C. And you can see there, I submitted it in the email. You can check the email. I put the 2 driver's license there. You can find out from the DDS. You can also find out from Maryland and DMV. I had a very valid Class C. I never argued for the speeding ticket because I wasn't even aware because I was on the lonely path. So I didn't argue about. But this one particular one, it's so obvious that I had a Maryland license, and that was what I presented to him, sir.
Okay.
You can check the video. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me
Yes,
ask,
sir.
does the prosecutor have any questions?
I do, but Judge, the question that I have would be for Officer Edwards.
Mhm. So you don't have any questions for Mr. Ashigbi?
I do not, Judge.
All right, then go ahead and ask your questions to Officer Edwards.
Officer Edwards, on your citation, it looks in the notes that you put remarks down that the document that was presented to you at the stop was a Class CP Georgia license. Is there any way that you could have mistaken what was provided to you for a Georgia license and that being an out-of-state license?
Correct. He did present a out-of-state license, but when I ran him by his name and also by his license number, he also showed out of Georgia with that Class CP license. That's why he was issued the citation.
You see?
Anything else from the prosecution?
Judge, I would, so for arguments, Judge, here's the thing. The officers put notes on their citations based on the best recollection that they have right then because it's real time. And the issue that is presented is whether, as Mr. Ashigbi is stating, that what he provided to Officer Edwards was an out-of-state license. Officer Edwards has been an officer for a long time, and it's very easy to distinguish a out-of-state license from a Georgia license. It's clearly going to state the name of the license on there. His notes put that he wrote down CP Georgia license after he ran them. I'd also say this, the remoteness between the issue date and the actual stop. If Mr. Ashigbi is saying that he got his license a couple days after the stop, it would take some time for it to be delivered to him. It's not an instantaneous thing. As most of us know, they give us a paper copy and then they mail us the actual change. And if he's changing from state to state, it may take even longer for him to receive it in that manner. The likelihood that he did have some sort of a limited permit prior to that with those facts is greater. I'm not saying that mistakes don't happen, I just don't believe that Officer Edwards mistook a Maryland license for a Georgia license.
Okay. Let me just ask you this, Officer Edwards. It sounds like he gave you the Maryland license, but then when you ran it, it showed a Georgia CP license.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. And was the Maryland license valid at the time that he presented it to you?
That part I don't recall, but I do recall his Georgia's driver's license being showing Class CP.
Okay.
Which I explained that to him as well.
Okay. All right. Okay. And you are entering a no-low plea to the speeding charge. Is that correct, Mr. Ashigbe?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is he eligible for a no-low plea?
Yes.
All right, let me deal with the no-low plea first. You understand that by entering into the no-low plea, Mr. Ashigbe, to the speeding charge, that you're doing this without the assistance of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Sir, do you also understand that by entering into the plea that you are waiving your right to a trial?
Yes, sir.
Sir, are you entering into the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And sir, do you believe it is in your best interest to enter into the no-low plea to the speeding charge?
Yes, sir.
Court will accept your no-low plea to the speeding charge. The fine amount is $175. On the driver's license charge, you've entered a not guilty plea, and the court finds you not guilty of the violation. So there will be nothing that you have to do on that.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Your
sir, are
Honor.
you able to pay the sum of $175 within the next 2 weeks?
Today, sir, I'll pay it right away.
All right, well, I don't know where you are. Are you planning on coming to the courthouse?
I can do it online, sir. Can I
Okay,
do
well,
it
I
online?
don't know that they're gonna allow you. They're gonna send you a 2-week agreement, and you can pay it anytime before the 2 weeks are up. Do you understand that?
All right, sir.
Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Yates, do you have his information?
Yes, I have it. And Mr. Ikshigbe, there's no way that you can pay online. So you either must come to the courthouse to make the payment or send in a money order to our office.
Okay, money order, sir.
All right, then they'll give you
Okay,
the
good.
instructions on that. They will send
Okay.
you your plea form and they will send you your 2 agreement. And thank you. You can
Thank you, sir.
disengage from the call.
Thank you, sir. God
All
bless
right.
you.
All right.
And Judge
I think that's Officer Edwards' last case too.
I believe it is, Judge.
All right, Officer Edwards, thank you. You can disengage as well.
Thank you.
Judge Freeman, may
Yeah.
Officer Estrada be excused?
Let me see if the prosecutor needs.
Well, we dismissed the last 2 matters for Estrada. That would have been the Stevens cases.
Okay, so then yes, Officer Estrada can be dismissed.
And Judge, I think the next matter that I have on my calendar is Oleg,
That is correct.
and that is Officer Green.
Officer C. Green, that is correct.
And I don't have Officer C. Green present.
Mr. Ashigbe, you can disengage from the call, sir.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
All right. All right.
So
Is
the city-
Officer C. Green on the call? All right, what is the city's announcement regarding Mr. Oleg?
We're going to dismiss for warrant of prosecution, Judge.
All right, Mr. Oleg,
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
have you typed your name and email address in the chat, sir?
Yes, I did.
All right, you will receive a dismissal through your email. Please enter a not guilty plea, and then you will receive your dismissal without prejudice. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right, sir, you can disengage from the call and thank you.
Thank you for your help and have a good day.
All right.
Thank you.
But Judge, the only matter that I have left is going to be on Mr. Strange,
That is correct.
and we have Mr. Harvey, I'm sorry, Harvey Parrish Jr., who's in the courtroom.
That is correct. Mr. Strange has entered a not guilty plea to the charge. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Everyone that is going to testify, if you will please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
I do.
Wonderful. You want to go ahead and present the case, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Strange is before the court because on April 19th of 2022, he received a citation for following too close. He was involved in an accident with Mr. Harvey Parrish Jr. Mr. Parrish, on the date in question, did you have an opportunity? Well, actually, were you involved in a motor vehicle accident with Mr. Strange?
Yes, sir.
And was that accident, to the best of your knowledge, within the city limits of Forest Park?
Yes, sir.
Can you briefly state to the court how the accident occurred from your position?
Well, sir, I was coming from work there. I normally take the same route every day. And I was at a yield sign, a traffic light. Then you got a yield sign to the right, and yield to the right going on to the Old Dixie Highway. I think that's the name of the street. And I looked to my rear, and I saw this vehicle coming, and you got to yield. So time I got ready to go, after yielding, and I had a loud bang. So I just pulled to the right. Then he got out of his vehicle. Then he said he basically made a mistake. And that's it.
Okay. No further questions for this witness, Judge.
All right, Mr. Strange, do you have any questions you'd like to ask Mr. Parrish?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right, does the city have any other evidence?
No further evidence, Judge. City rests.
All right, Mr. Strange, you can now tell the court what took place and why you believe you should not be charged with following too closely.
Thank you, Your Honor. So when the driver made the right turn from the yield sign, it was off of South Point Drive onto Old Dixie. He immediately attempted to move into the outer crossing, had the outer lane, crossing a solid white line. Then he abruptly hit his brakes, which caused the accident. I'm not denying that I did hit Mr. Parrish, but I feel like since I don't know why I was the only one issued a citation, it should have been a 50-50 citation by my view. My insurance company is taking care of all the driver's claims, so I'm asking for a dismissal in this case, Your Honor.
All right. All right, does the city have any questions?
I do not have any questions, Judge.
All right. All right. This court is dealing solely with the following too closely charge and not dealing with any property damage or bodily injury. On the sole charge of following too closely, Mr. Strange, you've entered a not guilty plea. The court does find you guilty of the violation. The fine amount is $175. Once this is paid, it will be reduced to a basic rules violation. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Basic rules makes it a non-reportable offense. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Are you able to satisfy the fine of $175 within 2 weeks? Or do you
Yes,
need?
Your Honor. Oh, sorry.
Excuse me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Have you typed your name and email address in the chat?
I have, Your Honor.
Ms. Yates, do we have Mr. Strange?
Yes, we do.
All right. The order of the court is that he was found guilty of the charge of following too closely. Upon the payment of the sum of $175, it will be reduced to a basic rules violation. Mr. Parrish, do you have any questions, sir?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you so much for your testimony today. Mr. Strange, you will receive your plea form as well as your 2-week agreement through your email. Please respond in a timely fashion, and thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, take care. You all both can disengage. Mr. Parrish, you are excused.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Looks like you have Officer Cruisley on. I don't think you have any cases.
No, all his stuff was either.
Officer Cruisley on, you can disengage as well. And then I see something on here that just says iPhone.
That is Essence Moss. She logged in a little late. And I believe you
Logged
marked
in
her
a lot of
empty.
late,
Yeah.
a lot of late. Let me get her on the phone because Miss Easery was here. Ms. Moss,
Yes, sir.
turn your video on.
Okay.
You were late for your hearing. The witness was here. An FTA to the charge, young lady. Is it not guilty, guilty, or nolo contendere?
Not guilty.
All right, they will set you down for a new trial date. You do have a $50 late fee for FTA, and we will give you a new trial date. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, let me have you to type your name and your email address in the chat.
Okay.
Your name and your email address, please type it in the chat. Once they receive it, you will be given a new trial date. Please understand that if this happens again, the FTA will be issued, which can result in the suspension of your license. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand.
All right. Yates, do you have Ms. Moss's information?
Yes, I do.
All right, Ms. Moss, you are excused.
Thank you.
All right. Who else do we have there in the courtroom?
Mr. Terrence Backus. Good morning,
All
sir.
right, Mr. Bacchus,
Yes, sir.
late as well. The officer has been excused at 8:15. You have a FTA fee of $50. What is your plea to this charge, sir?
Not guilty, sir.
All right, they will give you a new court date. Please understand that if you are late again, the FTA will issue, which could result in the suspension of your driver's license. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
They will give you a new court date today. Please provide them with your full name and your email address before you leave the courtroom.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.